Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a Lego set and a model kit, and of course, to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego set, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you don't have the emotes, if you're not a subscriber, or you just don't feel like doing it, you can just say hi, or you can say nothing at all. Hello to Epic Open World and Aristofan who are here. If you're also here, you can say hi in the chat through via emotes or via otherwise. It's okay. We're here in the intro portion of the stream. We got the pre-show, we got the intro, we got the main stream, then we get the rating somebody else. That's how the show works. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you as always, my friend. Folks, I joked maybe it wasn't Thursday, maybe it was like Monday, where I was like, fake energy becomes real energy, and I gotta let you know, I got a lot of fake energy tonight. I am a tired Pat. I could not fall asleep last night. Don't know what was going on. Just couldn't fall asleep. Got up, turned the computer back on, sat down, tried to put very boring, soothing YouTube videos on, and just kept scrolling on some things and just boring websites, trying to just fall asleep. Try to get tired so that I could fall asleep, I should say. That did not work. It did not happen. It is a billion degrees. It's very hard to sleep. Yeah, I'll say it is warmer here than I would like. Certainly, but it wasn't like oppressively hot last night, which is great. I just could not sleep. It was very rough. And finally, I think sometime after 5 a.m., I fell asleep. So I did not get that much sleep last night, and I paid for it today. I shot a video that will go up on Monday, my next Pat Bear's Anime Club, and the end product, I think, is good. I'm happy with it. Dirty to subscribe to tier 1, that's 24 months on a 22-month streak. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego, the site, the moat into chat. Dirty, thank you so much for your continued support. 24 months is 2 fucking years, and so I thank you very much for supporting me for half the length of the time I've been a streamer. That is awesome. Thank you so much for your continued support. But yeah, oh boy, I just had a real, I was saying the video. So I recorded, and it's like 25 minutes or something like that, maybe a little less through the edit. But it took me like an hour and a half to record that, and you may have noticed my episodes of Pat Bear's Anime Club are quite often off the cuff. Like, I know what I want to say, but I'm not writing a script. I'm not that kind of YouTuber where I prepare a script ahead of time and then read that script. I could do that, but I don't want to, and instead I want to be more conversational. Because that's the kind of style of video I like to make. Is just turn the camera on, go with it. I know what I'm going to talk about, but the minutia comes out when it comes out. And I was just like, this is low energy, or this is just isn't good. And yeah, I kept restarting it. And eventually, the last one I have, like, I had to like cut a minute of me just being like, okay, and then just like getting back into it. But I do think it's a good video, and that'll be up on Monday. But yeah, today has just been like, well, I got stuff I gotta do, and I gotta get to it and do it. Also, with the humidity here in my part of the world, it felt like it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is too hot. It's too much. Once you get a third digit in there, that's not good. Just not. I mean, the 10 degrees below that even aren't great, but it was like 90, feels like 105. And fuck off with that weather. No thanks. So that was real bad. Anyway, I'm excited about tonight. We'll talk about what we're going to get to building in a moment or two. I will say this in public record. I said it in the video that I made. I said it on Twitter. Thank you to the unknown person that purchased the 2 kits I will be building on the stream. You did not include a note. You did not say anything on any of my socials. I do not know who got this for me. But thank you. I'm looking forward to building it, both the Lego set and the non-grade. And we'll talk more about the non-grade later, because that way we can talk about G Gundam, which is a thing I feel like we do talk about around here pretty regularly. It comes up. It's a point of conversation over the years. Um, I mean, this is a Gundam stream, so it makes sense. But I'm going to retweet my tweet. We're going to the overhead. We'll talk about this Lego set. Uh, Retweeting my tweet because maybe a few more folks will kind of want to join us here on a Saturday evening. I don't know. But let's go to the overhead. We're building the Millennium Falcon Microfighters. And as you can see by the box art there, the Microfighters basically is like the go-kart equivalent of a Lego set because Han Solo is basically riding on it instead of inside it. So it's a cute little thing. It's 100 and something pieces. We got our Han Solo right here hanging out. I built that ahead of time. I'm not going to fully know, but we're going to separate by color just to make my life easier. So I'm just going to be kind of separating this. Like I said, it's like 100 pieces, so you don't have to hunt, the real thing is I just don't like hunting and pecking, so kind of like building it like this just is not a thing that I'm interested in. So we'll just separate by color, be nice and quick. Shouldn't take too long to do, and then we'll get into building. But we'll just have a nice relaxed stream, because the real thing is that neither of these kits should take, I don't think Han Solo would fit in that. Definitely not. The Millennium Falcon is my favorite MF ship. Well, there you go. Um, this is going to be a fun one. I like this little microfighters. I've never built a microfighter before. I get the interest that people would have in it. Oh, Han Solo does have a gun. Got a blaster. Got to put on the blaster there. Booyah. Yeah, so this was purchased along with a model kit. That is a very old model kit. It's from the year 1994, which makes it one of, if not the oldest kit I've built on the stream. I believe I have built something from 1993. Now, of course, I have built kits that have come out later that are reissues of older kits, but I haven't built a kit like that was on a shelf in 1994. I don't think so. That's pretty old, and I'm pretty excited about putting that together. I mean, this kit is just going to be cute and fun. So let's see. I kind of want to. So I didn't make a game plan for tonight. As you know, lately I've been trying to do some game plans where I've like written down ahead of time, like these are the topics that I would like to discuss tonight. And of course, conversations go where they go, and it's fine if they don't go in those directions. But I didn't really do that tonight, partly because I was busy today trying to get a bunch of things done before the stream started. And I did get everything I needed to do, so that's good. But yeah, can you feel the 90s radiating from it? A little bit. I mean, it's very 90s. We'll look at that package later. What is the kart racing type that reminds me of? Every kart is stylish to look like crazy contraptions or famous vehicles. Yes, dirty. There's like it's not wacky races, but there is a kind of like go-kart competitive thing that makes makes versions like that. And I don't remember what it is, but I do know what you're talking about, Dirty. But yes, this box feels very 90s. Um, Complete with the sticker over the Japanese sticker, which tells you a very time and place that this was originally meant to be sold in a U.S. store, and then most likely this was like stock. It's a real world kart race. Yes, Dirty. Like I said, I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember the specifics. But yeah, this was definitely purchased. This was definitely like imported and then put in a store on a shelf for a very long time, and then eventually taken off that shelf and put in storage. And then either that company or someone just bought a bunch of like back of the room stuff and then sold it on Amazon, which is, if you're looking for something that old, it's pretty great that you can get that. So I think that's cool. So yeah, like I said, I don't really have a game plan for tonight. But the one of the news is of the day, and there is some news of the day. Um, If you are not a wrestling fan uh, or a current wrestling fan, you might not know this, but um, it's weird that today, which is a Saturday, it was announced that WWE has come to terms with the wrestler formerly, as of yesterday, known as um, Bray Wyatt, who wrestled in WWE as Bray Wyatt. I mean, with a brief spell for a little while as what was his name? Soapbox Racing. That's what I was trying to think of. Okay, there you go. Um, he wrestled this very shortly as a name that I forget, and had like a little limited, very short run on WWE, and then went away to developmental, and eventually came in to NXT as Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family. He was a cult leader type character. Husky Harris, thank you, Lashbrook. I knew that it was alliterative, but I could not remember what it was. That's right. Husky Harris. He which was a fine first character, but certainly probably not a primetime character. He would have had to go through some revisions, and he did. Um, for those that don't know, Bray Wyatt is the son of Mike Rotunda, aka IRS. Um, he is the nephew of Barry Windham, and in so fact, for real, his name is Windham. His younger brother, he was the wrestler known as Bo Dallas, and they never really interacted, which sucks ass because you got two brothers in there, and you think that you would do something with that information, but it never happened. So maybe that'll happen on the indies, although it seems like maybe, um, yes, perhaps Bo Dallas has retired. I believe he, a few years ago, he opened with Liv Morgan a real estate agency to prepare for his life after wrestling, because Bo Dallas has been wrestling only with WWE like basically since he got out of college. So he was like prepping for a next thing. Instead of opening a wrestling school, he opened a real estate agency. Um, so he might be done with the business, but and of course, people are anytime anybody leaves WWE or is released from WWE, there is discussion of where they'll go. Um, Bray Wyatt is a very creative man. He also, I should point out, that he made gimmicks that on paper shouldn't work, and he made them work. Because if you told me that there would be a wrestler who would have a Blues Clues, Pee Wee Herman style uh, segment, like backstage segment, where he ran like a kid show, uh, and he was like sincere, but in a way that was very unsettling. And then sometimes you would just see him in a mask, and it would be like the fact that there was like a force controlling him. And that was his second gimmick after he was already a southern like swamp cult leader. Uh, and then also briefly at times a baby face, because he was for a little while a babyface tag team champion with Matt Hardy, which does not make any sense, but was also pretty great. Um, but anyway, he's an incredibly creative force, uh, incredible seller, uh, gifted performer in the ring, uh, and I hope that this is not the end of his story. Now, there have been unconfirmed, of course, rumblings that I will not give my opinions on, that he may or may not have some health issues. There might be more to the story. But to me, because people don't understand, they're like, why would WWE release money? This man is money. The man they just had in a big storyline at WrestleMania and then was off TV. The man that ended uh, the short term, like the part-time career of John Cena, the man that erased John Cena at WrestleMania 2 years ago. How are they going to come to terms with his release? And the fact that it's not part of major layoffs, it is its own activity, and they announced it. Um, well, Lashbrook, I will say, because Lashbrook asks, is that man profits? Um, so I can't tell you that Bray Wyatt. Uh, I don't know the terms of his contract and if he was making them oodles of money, but I can tell you that that man sold T-shirts. That man sold many, many T-shirts. That man sold replica masks. And then for a very brief period of time, that man sold replica belts very well. So that man made profits. Now, I don't know if he continued to make profits. I can say it is hard to make profits when you are not on television. Only certain wrestlers make a lot of money when you can't see them on TV, despite not seeing them on TV. So I don't know how he was doing lately, but I do know that he was doing very well. But also, another person that sold a lot of T-shirts was Rusev. So profits to me, Lashbrook, actually don't matter for shit because they told, according to Miro, they told that man that people were buying his merch ironically. That's what they told to this man when he was like, "I'm doing well. Look at how many shirts I've sold. Look at the merchandise that I'm pushing." And they were like, "No, no, no. People were buying those ironically," which is like, "Oh, there's what?" Also, they're still buying. So to me, saying profits. So the real thing is the contract something that they don't want anymore? Again, I am not going to speculate on health and well-being of anyone. That is not my place. I am not here to do that. I don't have any information. Uh, I do hope that all is well because he is a fantastic performer, and I hope this is not the end of his wrestling career because it feels weird that the end of his wrestling career is having the person he turned into a monster turn on him for no apparent reason so he could lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That feels weird that is the end uh, of it. So I don't know, but yeah, I hope good things for Wyndham because it seems like a good dude. There was a recent photo that someone posted and then was apparently asked to take down of him in public, and he looked svelte, more svelte than normal. Um, but yeah, post for a photo with a fan, and then like that's the last sighting we had of him, and it's weird, very weird. I should also say, while in conversation with this, I don't know if this is blown out of proportion. I don't know if this was people like seeing a couple instances and blowing it out of proportion. But I will say, for the record, um, the idea that you would blame anyone except for the machinations of the head of the company, the owner of the company, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, to put the blame on anyone besides him is utter madness and just sexist bullshit because there apparently are people out there who would like to believe or choose to believe that the person responsible for this somehow is Alexa Bliss, who has inherited the Fiend gimmick, as if that was a plan of hers. Like that's to blame her is just sexist bullshit because it's just like what are you fucking talking about? It's written, it's wrestling, it's scripted bullshit. It's sometimes great bullshit, but it's scripted bullshit. Just blame Dan Reichert. Yes, Epic on World, you can just blame Dan Reichert for that, of course. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is complete utter nonsense to believe that she has anything to do with his ending his like. No, if anything, I thought you were gonna bring up Nick Khan. So Lashrook, like, I understand that The real thing is that Nick Khan is the person who is, for some reason, someone that Vince McMahon decided to listen to. Maybe because he's from outside, and Vince doesn't want to listen to other people. But yeah, that's the guy that is responsible, in many people's opinions, for these layoffs and ends of terms. But to me, it it goes to Vince. It lives and dies to Vince, because if someone just says, "Hey, we're paying this person a lot of money," and they're not really doing anything, but if Vince McMahon likes them, if Vinnie Mac likes them, then it doesn't matter. And also, people that make them a lot of money and do great work and are creative and interesting and will do what's asked of them and go above and beyond. If Vince doesn't see dollar signs future, then it doesn't matter. So it does begin and end with Vince. Like, it's just, it is a weird thing. But yeah, I will say that's all it is. But blaming anybody besides him just doesn't make any sense. Um, Now, could it be that they were looking to end their contract to renegotiate it in some other way, some other version of the contract? That's perhaps true. It could be. That does, when you look at the Samoa Joe situation, where he was laid off and then signed a new contract, to basically be a part-time wrestler, and on-camera persona. Um, that could simply, to me, that felt like something that was, hey, he's an announcer, but we're paying him to be a very good wrestler, but he isn't going to be a full-time wrestler anymore. We can't pay him to be an announcer, so lay him off. Oh, hey, we found a role for him, and we're going to bring him in under a new contract that's a very different contract. That's what that felt like. Obviously, I haven't seen paperwork. I can't tell you that's exactly what happened, but that's certainly what it seemed like. Um, but yeah, the one thing that people said that sounded like interesting and terrible thing that I ooh, did I? Oh, I did not. I apologize, folks. I thought that I had turned off the autofocus, but I remember now that I restarted my computer, so I didn't. So I apologize for that. Um, the one conspiracy theory that I really hate to read is that they are freeing up money to bring back Braun Strowman, who was introduced as the last member of the Wyatt family, and so that is a really shitty thing for people to say. Although I do think they're gonna bring back Bray Wyatt, because uh, I just that just not Bray Wyatt. They're gonna bring back Braun Strowman under a new contract. Uh, yeah, that's just the vibe that I get. Can't tell you anything like that. But anyway, I hope that he does well out there and is a great wrestler. Uh, I do appreciate Evil Uno of the Dark Order just being like, Bray Wyatt for Dark Order. Like, yeah, which is like, yeah. Considering the person that was running the Dark Order storyline wise before his untimely death was someone that was in the Wyatt family. It, of course, that there's a poetry to that would be kind of beautiful. But I don't necessarily know any information about that, of course. That is just pure speculation on my part. This is a great way to do this. So obviously, you got to do this arch thing here. So what they did was they did this. You can say you wouldn't do this normally, but that is a way to get an easy way to get the bend that they need. This would be hard to do otherwise. So I think that's pretty neat. This is a very simple, straightforward Lego thing. Obviously, not going to be too hard. Um, let's see. What else do I want to talk to you all about tonight? What's going on my plate? Like, honestly, like I said, I've been in a daze today. Felt weird all day because I'm just overly tired. Um, but I did get things that needed done. Shot a video. Like I said, took longer than I would have would have planned. Watched some anime because I got to talk. I get to talk about anime. Um, but I did have an extra show because the Pat Bear's Anime Club that I did, that will air on Monday. For that, I wanted to watch an episode of a show that debuted today, so I had to watch that beforehand, which is, it was like homework. So, but I'll talk about that show on Monday because I want to take notes with it. I just watched it, so I will say. Um, Domino's threatening to pull ads over AW is very funny. Yes. I don't currently believe the rumors and the writer that says that someone from WWE pitched them that. So, okay, let me come back here. Chris Jericho is in a long-term program with a wrestler that betrayed him. In order to get his hands on this wrestler says that you have to have the five great tasks of Jericho. This is a basically a rehash of something that they already did with another wrestler, where the person had to do some things in order to get to him. This is like a thing for MJF that you have to do. So Jericho's like, fine. The second thing that Jericho had to do, which aired, was wrestle a hardcore, world-renowned, actual former bank robber, hardcore wrestler named Nick Gage. Uh, Nick Gage is interesting to watch. I'm a huge fan of the work ethic, not necessarily a huge fan of the wrestler, the wrestling mentality, and the work he does. Not my style of wrestling. Anyway, so he had a yes, Epic Open World. Nick Gage is a reformed bank robber. Legit. Um, Also, I think that is to me, a fun fact. Besides that fact, is that he. Ooh, I did the wrong piece somewhere. I did. This. Hmm. No, maybe I didn't. Am I missing it? Sorry, folks. Uh, MDK all day. Indeed, Dr. Bucket. Um, uh, so yeah, well, no. So he's wrestling at AEW. He came in as a guest on AEW. His catchphrase is MDK, which is of course murder, death, kill. And I have to wonder if the young fans know what that is a reference to. Do they know that that is both a fairly obscure PlayStation video game and also a direct reference to Demolition Man? Sorry, I'm looking. I'm literally missing a piece here. And I wonder if I put it on somewhere by mistake. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm looking at it wrong. I got you. I got it, folks. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be okay. Wait, no, it's not. Hmm. I figured it out. I put it on there. I mean, entertainment. He has a lot of reformed folks for a long time. Yes, certainly. Totally. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be a wrestler or shouldn't be working. I'm saying the style of wrestling he does, I'm not a fan of, and I never have been. Dr. Bucket says, I wore my MDK hat to the store the other day, and the clerk thought it was Demolition Man hat. Hell yeah. There you go. I only played MDK on a friend's PC way back in high school. Yeah, I mean, look, I know it's a video game. I've never played MDK. I do know that it is a video game. But yeah, so no disrespect to the man. I'm just old and I never really liked bloody wrestling. And so, to explain, um, in this conflict, in this match that they had, at one point, um, got a Nick got out the pizza cutter and cut. Yeah, I'm not a fan of straight up death matches. I need to dress it up a little. With like exploding barbed wire. Okay, he cut Jericho. He was cutting into Jericho, and the announcers are going wild and freaking out about it. And they're like, "Oh, that's too far. That's too far." Come on. And then they were like, we're going to continue this match with ads picture in picture, where they have the match still going and then the ad, and they kind of share focus, right? And that ad was a Domino's pizza ad, which many people found incredibly hilarious. I'm one of those people. The idea that someone would use a pizza cutter as a weapon and then there would be an ad for pizza is very funny. Oh, I saw that on Twitch. I didn't know that was something that just happened. Yes, that is recent. And of course, Domino's was unhappy because if you are doing ads during wrestling, you are understanding that there's a physical thing, but it's a soap opera. It's a sports soap opera. And of course, TNT apparently was told this is going to happen. I should also say that when you buy ads, when you're a big company and you're buying ads, sometimes you are buying ads directly for a thing. But Domino's is so big that they're probably just like, hey, we would like this. We're negotiating. This ad runs weeknights at a certain time, and then on weekends, certain times. That kind of thing, right? So many, a certain amount of views or showings in this block of time, right? So they might not be saying we definitely want it to be during wrestling. They might. I can't tell you if they are explicit or not. But often it is about the time slot, not about the show. Uh, so either way, it's very funny. And then Domino's was like, apparently, fucking mad about it and possibly considering pulling their ads from TNT or making sure that it wasn't part of that broadcast, which is bad for everyone who is trying to make money, because it's a business. It is just a thing where you're just like, oh no. Now, a writer who is not a not a wrestling writer, apparently got a message from someone who works for WWE, most likely on their, you know, PR or whatever, who was like, hey, here's an idea for a story. Now, if that sounds like bullshit, one, like a bullshit thing to do, one, it is. And two, it is one of the shittiest parts of the world of like marketing and PR, is that this happens a lot. That people are like cold emailing, cold responding, going, hey, you should write about this thing that's happening. We will give you the facts about it. Now, often that is, hey, we're doing this thing. Hey, did you know that we're doing this thing? Your readers would probably love to hear about it. Your podcast listeners would probably love to hear about it. And they're just cold calls, right? Now, usually, like I said, that is about, hey, we're doing this thing. We think your readers would love to know about our new coolers. And you're like, no, my readers would not give a shit about that. But it also sometimes is, hi, did you know about this thing that makes other people look bad and us look not bad by comparison? Check this out. Here's the information about it. That is nothing new. People do this. Now, it being WWE and it being them trying to approach mainstream press that are not wrestling press, who are already talking about it, that does seem shady, and I will not disagree with you. I am not defending WWE at all about this, but I am saying that it is a practice that exists and does suck across many, many brands. If I were Domino's, I would just lean into it. The way social media is now, just lean into it, and everybody would have loved it. Yeah, I mean, I get why a major company like that wouldn't, but I see what you're saying. I think there are some companies that would run with it, and other companies that would feel very embarrassed by that, and unhappy with it. So I get it. As an example, uh, Yes, weirdly, PBR is super down with MTK. Indeed. Um, there is a what was that thing? Oh, not too recently, Colt Cabana. I'm actually going to look this up because I want to. Colt Cabana is a wrestler. Um, he currently wrestles with the AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Um, and let's see if I can find this thing. Yes, this is from July 30th. He says, "This was not sent to me by AEW. It was just a random marketing mass email, if only they knew." So, this is a marketing mass email that, for whatever reason, has Colt Cabana on a mailing list, right? Because Colt has had podcasts of note and has, has a large following, is a, so people know him. So, these folks write to Colt. Hi, Colt. Reaching out with exciting news from Upper Deck, the leader in sports and entertainment memorabilia, as they announced a multi year deal with All Elite Wrestling for the first ever licensed AEW trading cards. Um, Starting November 2021, Upper Deck AEW trading cards will feature popular iconic AEW current legends and future rising stars, including Chris Jericho, Sting, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and more. Trading cards will be available at hobby shops nationwide with Upper Deck authorized internet retailers, AIRS, and through Upper Deck e-packet, TM. Um, I've shared full details on the collaboration with AW in the press release below. Would you be interested in sharing this with your readers? Looking forward to your thoughts. Lindsay from Upper Deck, um, which is incredible. Again, this is a person who basically, on a mass email, included a message to someone who works for AEW. Does Jan from GP need to start collecting dust? I mean, who knows, right? Um, but anyway, it's very funny to me because clearly she doesn't know, and it's just whatever. But it's so funny. Um, I was just like so mad that it didn't say Colt Cabana in it as a rising star because it just lists old stars. It does. I mean, to some people, Kenny Omega is a rising star, but whatever. That's a side thing. But yeah, I wish it did. I wish it had said anyone from the Dark Order. Um, like, and Hangman Page. Like, nope, doesn't say that. Hangman Adam Page. It just says fucking. They're just like, no, we're gonna include Cody. Cody Rhodes, not the Young Bucks. We're gonna mention Cody Rhodes is on this. Very, very weird in a way, and I love it. I love that so much. But yeah, this just goes to show you, right? Like, people who are doing marketing, that kind of shit, they don't fucking know. This person mass emailed with like the thing, so it just says, the name of the person from the to field, and that's it. And they're not expecting many people to reply, maybe a few. Also, Colt doesn't have readers. He's got podcast listeners and viewers of his Twitter feed, I guess maybe. It's just very, very funny to be like, hey, do you know about this thing? The monetization of AEW is certainly wild. Yeah, I mean, that, like, honestly, it is just spending the Khan family fortune on a bunch of nonsense. Like, hey, we should have a video game. You know how they're all terrible? We'll do that. And it's going to take years for it to get good. Yeah, we'll do that. But also, it'll have a manager mode. It's just like, oh, all right, you nerds. Okay, you nerds. Sure. But it's just like, action figures makes total fucking sense. Shirts, of course, you gotta do that shit. But like, there's just some things that they're like, these are the things we're gonna make, and you're like, does anyone say no over there? I don't know if anyone says no over there. These things, but the vibe I get, and I don't know this obviously. This is just a vibe. Is that the casino app? Yep, yep, yep. That originally, I'm gonna guess that didn't say Cody Rhodes in it, and at some point, someone said, "Hey, put Cody's name in there." Like, really? It's like, yeah, put Cody's name in there. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Everybody loves Cody, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he dresses in white. He's facing a guy named Malachi Black, but he's gonna wear a white suit, even though the audience is gonna keep fucking cheering for Malachi Black, and they don't cheer as much for Cody as everyone thinks they will, and they don't seem to understand that Cody Rhodes acts like a fucking heel. Oh, there's some people that love Cody. Was that person Cody? Yeah, no, Lashbrook. I mean, my assumption is it didn't reach him, but there's somebody who knows to say, hey, if this goes out. No, that's the thing, Dr. Bucket. Cody doesn't know he's a heel. He gave his, he's given these, like, when he was a program, he was in a program with someone from, like, oh, not from America, so they're a heel, even like they're a foreign heel, even though that person's persona has nothing to do where they're from. It was just complete and utter nonsense. uh like, yeah, I'm going to work with young talent and win. What? Like, I can't imagine that he is going to lose to Malachi Black, which is wrong. He should definitely lose to Malachi Black. Very silly. Very silly. But yeah, I don't think he knows he's a heel. I think he is portraying this, like, all American good dude, and it's just like, nah, man, you're a heel. Just go be with your heel friends and be a heel. And Shaq, when was the last time he wrestled a wrestler? Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, he has wrestled wrestlers. Okay, I mean, he was in a program not too long ago with Anthony Gogo, which should have been a star-turning performance for Anthony, and it was good. But yeah, it's is a weird thing, a weird vibe that I'm not fully psyched about. Um, I mean, look, here's the thing: Shaq being in AEW for a cup of coffee gave us that time that he was interviewed in a chair that was for a normal person's size, not Shaq's height, and it looked like a tiny chair because Shaq is so big, and the chair was not big enough, and we got that image, and they can't take that away from me. So good on him. Let me quickly just check a thing here, real quick. Okay, cool. But yeah, they can't take that away from it, which is great. All right. What? Oh, I was like, what does this mean? It means don't shoot your eye out because we're gonna put weapons on this thing. And they're like, hey, don't shoot yourself in the fucking eye. Cody matches are my popcorn matches now. I love pretty much everything else about AEW. Yeah, I mean, so I am a fan of many of the wrestlers that are in that promotion. I'm a little sick of Chris Jericho at the moment. I would love Chris to take a break and see some other storylines play out. I think what Kenny Omega and the Bucks are doing right now is incredible, great heel work. The slow burn of Hangman Adam Page is pretty incredible, although I would like it to be a little slower. Um, I would say I would like not Cody Rhodes, sorry. I would like Christian to finally turn on Jungle Boy so that we can get that program going. Because I think Christian will lose to Jungle Boy, which will be fucking huge for that guy. That would be a big deal. So I'd be happy to see that get going. My big complaint about AEW outside of Cody is that they have an incredible talent. Lego is so expensive in your country. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We often talk about the property tax. The licensed property. So Star Wars kits are going to be more expensive than Ninjago, and then you got to get tiny kits like this if you want to save some money, because this kit is small because it's only 100 something pieces, but it was still more expensive than a kit that wasn't Star Wars. I am the opposite and want Page to have the strap already. I'm so tired of the Elite. No, I agree with you. I would like Adam Page to win this. I have enjoyed the storyline, but I would like that to go. I do think that the Elite has to have the next stage, which is them losing belts and losing matches. Uh, So that's kind of I'm from Denmark, where Lego comes from, and it's not a joke. That's awful. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that Lego is so expensive in Denmark, where it was created. That sucks. That really does. Yeah, that's shitty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. What's that? Oh, my big thing with AEW is they have an incredible women's roster, and they do at best one match and maybe a promo uh, on their big show on Dynamite. Come on, they have incredible talent. The fact that they just signed Thunder Rosa, which is ridiculous that she was on a pay performance contract, unbelievable. But yeah, they bring in this incredible talent. The fact they didn't sign Maki Ito, who for a little while there was the most successful shirt sales on pro wrestling tees, like, come on, come the fuck on, unbelievable that they haven't signed Maki. Uh, just ridiculous. That's my big takeaway is that they have incredible talent that I would love to see more of. They need to treat the women's division better. Yeah, it's my understanding they had to buy her out of her remaining NWA contract. Yes, last one. I know that there was complications with her NWA contract for Thunder Rosa specifically, um, but it still just was so bizarre that she was on a per show basis. But also that the NWA title had so much airtime. But yeah, that division is incredibly great and deserves to have more of an opportunity to showcase how good they are. Um, and yeah, I know that they have another, they got a YouTube show you can watch if you want, and they're gonna have whatever the second hour of wrestling TV they're gonna get. I really hope uh, they decide to focus and on the women's division in that would be great. Apparently, Vicky Guerrero has pitched a all women's stable, and I think that sounds fucking rad. I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere, but it would be cool. Um, all right, so these shoot. You can just shoot them. I'm gonna do it. Bam. Shut out. I'm gonna shoot the other one. Bam. Fired it. My buddy has tickets to the first night of Rampage. So happy for him and his son. Oh, that's awesome. I hope that he is, safe. It feels very weird to see wrestling crowds in the year 2021. This is very strange. This is just weird. Um, it just, yeah, feels very weird to see that. And yeah, also, I hope that he gets to go because who the fuck knows uh, what cities and states are going to be like, actually, that's too many people. Like, I don't know. Um, but it's a weird time. We got a lot of extra pieces here, which is always nice. And then of course we will put our Han Solo there on our nice little thing. And that's this kit. Like I said, I knew this would be a quick build. Started 50 minutes ago or so, a little less than that. But yeah, nice quick little build. Uh, and a not so expensive kit here. Uh, which was a fun. Yeah, I haven't built any microfighters before, but I do like it. I thought this was a fun little kit, and it looks neat. I'll take a photo of it, and then we're gonna move on to our next kit. We'll get it set up, and then get a little building in before we take a pause with the calls. Yeah, I'm glad my AW show happened when it did because Texas no longer officially cares, and I'm gonna go back to not doing things again. Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, everyone out there, please make decisions that feel right for you. In the same way that like I don't want to go to a convention, but if somebody wants to pay me to be at a convention, I'm probably going to have a conversation with them. I'm not going to not talk to them about it. I would prefer to not do that, but that's where we're at. But yeah, I am indoors. I'm wearing a mask. I only stopped at restaurants briefly after being vaccinated because just I'm in South Carolina and you just get looks, and I was tired of that. But forget that. Oh, the Jean just cheered 26 bits. Thank you so much. When tourists come to Legoland in Billund. There are many who are surprised the price can be up to 100% expensive than a country. Oh, that is than where they come from. Yeah, that it'd be more expensive there. They would think they were going to get some, like a deal. Jam says we have a show in Houston coming up. Still don't know if I want to go. Yeah, I mean, like that's the big thing, right? For everybody, for their local, it's up to you how you want to. But again, what you want to do. It is a cute little ship. You're not wrong. I think it's very cute. Um, I think you all need to make your own decisions about what public events where you go. I think if you're with vaccinated people and you know them and you want to go hang out in their house, like yeah, yeah. But if you're going to a public event, or if you are in, I'll say this, as someone who is in constant contact with somebody who is immune compromised, I'm not feeling great about it. I'm not feeling great about the fact that I could become a carrier now because of the Delta variant, which is rising over here. I don't want to expose even somebody I know who is the person is vaccinated, but I'm seeing them a lot and they're immune compromised. So them getting COVID is way, way, way worse than me getting COVID as a vaccinated person. It couldn't mean for them hospitalization. And I don't want that, so obviously. All right, so let's take a photo of this. Yeah. I'll take a couple different photos. Yeah. I like that. Cute. Here in Portland, my local indie announced a show in October, but I don't know. It's a big venue though. It's a big area venue though. Yeah, I mean like that's really what it is, right? I encourage everyone, obviously, get vaccinated. Like a statement. But also when it comes to other things like this, please, 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 take things under advisement. Use your best judgment with these things, and look out for each other. But yeah, it just puts a weird thought like vibe, like the idea of being in a huge place or being around a lot of people. Like nah. Like I got friends promoting their comedy shows in New York, and I'm just like, yeah. Like I get it, you got to get out there. Ew. Anyway, we're done with that Lego set. We're going to take a pause to cause in a moment or two, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel if you're inclined to do so. But first, I'm just going to say, like, hey, I got this kit. It's from 1994. It is the Gundam Maxter 144 scale. It is a non-grade. This is not a high grade, because if you want to get yourself a Gundam from the G Gundam line and you wanted a high grade, actually what you would be getting is you would be getting yourself a 1/100 scale, not a 144 scale, because this is the era where they were making very briefly this and Gundam Wing, I believe, high grade 1/100 scales for kits. This is the Gundam Maxter. This is the Neo American Gundam. I saw a story where that people in Missouri are going to vaxxed wearing disguises because they don't want the friends or family to know they got it. When I read that, I just wanted to walk into the ocean. I mean, I appreciate people still getting vaccinated, even if they think, to like saying like, well, my family's gonna be mad at me, but I want to do it. I mean, I'm glad they did it. It sucks. My pop hasn't had the vaccination, but he has had the antibodies from when they did a full course of meds when he was hospitalized with pneumonia. Well, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Back in October last year, and he touts that every chance he gets. Well, I mean, I would still love it if your pops got vaccinated, because having the antibodies, we don't know how long that lasts. It's great that he got them, but yeah. But for the most part, I just want people to be vaccinated. So yeah, so this is a non-grade. So it's look, this is a high grade. They're not going to call it a high grade. This is it. The Gundam Maxter, the Neo America Gundam from G Gundam, which is it's small. All of these, I believe this was the third. Yes, it's a G3. You can see that there. All of these have a core fighter, and I use the box art instead of a CG or actual photo because the box art fucking beautiful. Um, it's got. Does it have stickers? You bet it does. Does it have the Queen of Spade? Yes, it did right over there. Chippity Crockett? It does indeed. Um, is this a Gundam that has a football helmet and boxing gloves? Because America? Yeah, you bet your ass. Oh, the Maxter. Also, this kit, you can buy components that are bonus pieces for five, like the first 4 or 5 kits. So you could upgrade this, but you would get all of the bonus pieces for like the other ones to encourage you to collect them all. Uh, God, I love this look. I just love this packaging. There's so much like photos in here. Yeah, it's got the core fighter, and um, this is not going to be a super color realistic. You know, it's got the stickers, but like the helmet's wrong because they just didn't want to do all the right colors for the helmet, which is a shame. It's too blue, but it's pretty show accurate, and it's not perfect for the price when it came out. It's not bad. Uh, but this did sit somewhere for a long time, I'm sure. But this is a small little kit that we will definitely finish today. We'll panel line it. We'll do the whole thing. But this is not going to take long. I mean, this is before they wrote in English or in Roman numbers. The not Roman. You know what I mean? Where they wrote the numbers on the back. That's how old this is. But it's a 144 scale. At least they number it. Full polycaps and all that. Um, Before we get to that, we're going to take a pause for the calls, my friends. If you're currently a subscriber, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. Let the people know that you are a subscriber. That is an easy way to support what I do here. $5 a month using your Cash Money, or if you have Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch, you can join in there using your Twitch Prime token. A few people use their tokens, which I appreciate very much. But that is an easy way. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community, which is a very quick way to help people out. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription. Bits and coins, like the Ja did, or Sha did. Which is an easy way to support me as well. A couple bits here and there if you watch some of the commercial ads, and then you get some of those. Dr. Bucket just subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you so much, Dr. Bucket. Appreciate that very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. Also to thank Dr. Bucket for subscribing to Tier 1. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for your support. In English. Oh, okay. Um, yes. So yeah, I'm making a terrible pronunciation, I'm sure, of your username, and I do apologize for that. I will say that it's not necessarily related to where you're from. I often just do a bad job with that from people from all over the world, unfortunately. That is one of my curses, is I am not good at that. Let's see. We got to go to Nightbot. I got to bring Nightbot up because we got to check out Nightbot. No, it's pretty accurate. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm often very bad at knowing names of things. Anyway, um, I'm going to talk to you ways you can support the channel. I'm going to get through this very quickly, and then we're going to get back to building because we got to start on this model kit. So, like I said, subscribing here, gifting a sub, bits and coins, all those things are great, and I appreciate it very much. An alternative, and this would be a bad day to do this. I would say tomorrow is a great day to do this. You could join my Patreon. Don't join it today because it's the last day of July. Do it tomorrow when it's the first day of August. That's an easy way to support me, is to join my Patreon tomorrow if you want to do that as an alternative. Because I got that. You can join my YouTube for free. Wait, where did that go? There it is. I have a YouTube channel. You can join that for free. But you can also become a member over there for $2 a month to get a video one day early. So that's an option if you wanted to support me that way. Let's see. What else do I want to say? Oh, yeah. Direct donations is another way to support what I do because everything I make through AdSense on YouTube and memberships from Patreon, from Twitch, and from direct donations, as I linked there, all of that goes into buying model kits so that I can keep building things because I have to keep buying things to build them. So if you want to support me in any of those ways, it all goes back into me continuing to do this. So I appreciate it very much if you are thinking about doing that. And thank you. Let's see. This kit, the Lego set I just finished building, the model kit I'm about to assemble, all came from. Oh, thank you for the bits. I appreciate that. Thank you for more bits. All came from my Amazon wish list. I have an Amazon wish list, which I'm linking here in the chat. It's in the show description if you're watching this later on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? But yeah, I have an Amazon wish list. These were both bought by somebody I don't know who picked this up. I've got a bunch of stuff on there. I've got Lego sets and model kits and very expensive kits, very inexpensive kits, all kinds of different things. And if you see something there and you think, oh, I'll buy that for Pat, I'll build it on stream. I'll talk about how you picked it up and shoot a video about it. And then it'll jump the queue because I have other stuff to build. And forget that. I got to build the stuff you buy because you went to the trouble of buying it. So the least I can do. I'll say this. The Hello Kitty RX-782 kit is cheaper than it's been in a very long time. It's under $30. That's a Hello Kitty, and then there's some Gundam armor, and you can make it into a Hello Kitty Gundam, and it's pretty great. But that's cheaper than it's been, so I did want to point that out because got to point that out. But yeah, and then I have if. Alternatively, you can buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store and then send me a DM on Twitter with that gift card code, and that's another way to support me that way. A couple videos. Oh, sorry, my Discord. I have a Discord. I post photos after every build stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's a nice little community of people, very chill. Sometimes there are no posts in a day. It's it is a relaxed Discord if you're interested in joining that. Couple video links, and then we'll get back to building here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Pat Bear's Anime Club is my video series that I do every other Monday. A new one coming out next week. This last one was my panel from PAX East Online. If you didn't see that, you want to check that out. And then Best of Build with Baer. This is a very short, quick little video from when I was doing food stuff. It's very quick. Just me talking to the audience there. It's just a little clip. This series is just me funny moments from the streams. And if you ever see anything on a stream here, if you're watching and you want to clip it, you want to hit that clip button, that would be great for me because I would love to see that. I mean, I'm doing the work too, but if you see something and you want to clip that, that would be great. It's a lot easier than me scrubbing through a 2-hour video, but you're under no obligation to do that. Don't feel like I'm asking you to definitely do that. All right. Anyway, okay. What did I write? Anime wrong? I did. Look at me writing anime wrong. That's funny. And by funny, I mean no, it's not funny at all. I just wrote anime wrong. There we go. That's the right thing. Okay. So let's go back to the overhead. Working on the Gundam Maxter. I'm going to talk about some anime I watched over the past 2 days since the last stream that I did, because that's a thing I like to be able to talk to you about. It's fun for me to talk to you about anime. We're going to build an arm right now. This is going to be pretty easy to do. And while we build the arm, I will start talking about the show Tsushima. Tsushima is currently on YouTube. You can find it licensed. You have to hit the closed caption button for translation, but there is out there, and that is neat. So if you are interested in something like that, let's see. Ooh, these numbers are very tiny on here. Let's see. 33 and 34. 33 and 34. That's these here. Great. We're going to do this. Tsushima is a story about a cat that was an outdoor cat, a big cat they call Tsushima, who recently moved in with an old lady, and it's his first, like his second time ever being like an indoor cat. So when Tsushima is napping, he pretends he can't hear his owner if she's screaming because she's usually screaming that she saw a bug, and he's no help when bugs show up. He is no help to her at all, and it seems like there's a lot of bugs because that is a thing in parts of Japan in the summer. There are a lot of bugs, and that's the episode because these episodes are a minute and a half. So if you were like, that sounds too short, it's a quick little thing. It's just little jokes, just little jokes. But I enjoy the program. So that's that. Let's talk about My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom X, which is the second season of My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, about Katarina. Katarina was recently kidnapped, and we solved that problem at the end of the last episode. So everyone's just like, oh, cool. We figured that shit out. Now everything can go back to normal, except one, she got kidnapped again. This is the second time she's been kidnapped. So her friends are rightfully concerned about her. But also, it ended with Jordo, her fiance, who she thinks is only, engaged to him or to her at a convenience or necessity, doesn't realize that he has fallen in love with her. He kissed her just because he was like, hey, if I don't do this now, someone else is going to do it. You don't seem to understand how I feel about you. I'm going to kiss you. Which is bold of him, but good job, Jordo. Anyway, that freaked out all of her friends that are in the harem with her. Now, one of them definitely is not in love with her, but everybody else is. And they were all freaked the fuck out that things are progressing because maybe some of them want to end up with her or want their brother to end up with her or whatever. But yeah, it was everybody was just like, oh no, this happened. No, 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 no. But this episode wasn't really about that. I mean, it was at the end, but this episode was about the brothers because last season we were introduced to Jordo and his twin brother Alan, who are very different people. But each of them, and we knew they like got along, but not the best. That there had been some issues in the past between them, but they mostly had things settled. The thing they had most in common was they both very much appreciated Katarina Klaus. I'm going to turn the markers thing on. Let's see. Yep, yellow and blue. Yeah, there is no gold on this. The gold is all stickers here. Um, so I guess where it's blue, I'll do black, but we'll just keep that up there because it's not worth even putting up there. But I'm just going to put I'm just going to panel line this real quick. It doesn't really need it. This style of plastic doesn't really need markers anyway, but I'll still do the little pop spots here and there. Just kind of clean it up, make it look nice. Do that. And then we will use gray on the whites. You can see that there. The gray, I think, is really going to shine on here. And there is some red, and that'll look good on there. So yeah, we're just going to panel line this as we go. Because that arm took no time at all to build, so I'm not worried about that. And yeah, anyway, so that we learned a lot about the brothers because this season we met the two older brothers, which we didn't know about. That there's the oldest brother, his name is Jeffrey, and he is basically the crown prince, or he should be the crown prince, but for whatever reason, there's some issue about whether or not he's going to be, because their father is the king. He was like placed as the king because the previous king did not have any living relatives. So there's like a succession war. Because there are people that are like, oh, well, actually, Jeffrey seems real aloof. He shouldn't be king. Ian should be king. So there's kind of like this separate thing. And then another thing that happened, which we didn't know about till this episode, was that Alan was very sickly as a child. And his mother was focused on him. And so the two brothers really didn't spend much time together. And as a consequence of that, there wasn't much time for Jordo to be with his brother or his mother, and he resented that. He resented that being a constant issue, and he was kind of withdrawing. And he probably would have continued to withdraw until he met Katarina, who changed his world. And that's also true for Alan. Alan was finally not sickly and resented his perfect brother, who tried to please everyone and couldn't, because he was trying to catch up to him and had some ill will towards his brother, mostly because of circumstance, nothing like directly because of that. But grew as a person because Katarina, and then the two of them started talking more. Meanwhile, Jeffrey worked things out with Ian, but in secret because there are people who, want things from each of them that they have to make sure that they're on guard about. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, this was like a fun episode that was focused on these characters that we're learning more about these supporting characters. They're major characters. The episode ends with though. Um, Ian is or both. Everybody kind of has figured out. Oh, Jeffrey had something to do with figuring out this kidnapping case and bringing it to an easy solution. But then Katarina, who wasn't really in this episode, kind of escapes from all the people like watching her and keeping an eye on her, because she wants some alone time. And then Jordo's there, and Jordo kisses her again, and it's just like, I'm in love with you, which is good that he just says it because and he's like, do you now get it? Uh, she just was unaware of the feelings, but of course that I think it'll probably be solved by next episode, but that does unleash a firestorm because there are plenty of people who would like to have this relationship not happen because they have interest in her. So we'll see where that goes. But this episode was fun because like I don't know, I was actually surprised at how fast the kidnapping wrapped up. So I was expecting there to be more to it. So it's kind of interesting that we're getting a different story, but yeah, it was character development from characters that I was like, oh, that's cool. It is weird though that this guy, this older brother, was like around and like keeping an eye on them, but he never met Katarina before, and that just feels weird that he didn't like introduce himself. That feels like, oh, that's strange, but whatever. I'll let it slide because it was a good episode, and honestly, that's what I care about. I just want it to be a good episode of anime that I can watch and go, oh yeah, that was fun. Um, Okay, I gotta talk about Remake Our Life because shit happened in Remake Our Life. This is one of the best shows this season. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. If you've been waiting, if you needed that push, Remake Our Life. It's on Crunchyroll. It is a story of a dude, Kyoya, who has a bunch of regrets. His big regret is he had the opportunity to go to a visual art school and he instead didn't, and he went into business because he wants to make video games. But and then so he went to business school. He ended up at a company that makes video games, but it was a shitty company, and he had to do all the grunt work and the production work. But he was good at it, and he got results. But then he got laid off, and he was just regret that he didn't fully pursue, fully commit, fully go for it, because he knows what it's like to say like, "Oh, I'm not ready for that," and so he has regrets about that. Uh, Oh, we're going to build two of these. These are the shoulders. We can build them at the same time. 10, 11, 25. It's 25. So then our dude travels back in time. Just travels back in time. No big deal. But it's a fun thing because the characters that he interacts with now that he's going to art school are people that in 10 years comforted him. A great artist, a writer that he likes. These are people that he's like, oh, I've got a connection with these people. And now I'm working with them and I'm helping them make their dreams come true. So I was wondering, as we saw this, who Nanako was going to end up being. Nanako is this like blonde, like fiery character that was trying to be an actress, but she was being an actress because she had given up her dream of being a singer because she's tone deaf. She has like a commanding voice, but she can't hear tone. And through encouragement, Kyoya is like, you can do this. You can, like, here's what you sound like, with me changing the audio a little bit, changing like the tone, you can learn to adjust and relearn. You're here. You should do that. So she's pursuing that. Um, there's a school festival coming up at the school, but the visual arts school. So they're like all excited about that, and you definitely get the sense that perhaps Nanako is kind of falling, for uh, Kyoya, who is really supportive, like super supportive dude who's kind of giving her the encouragement that she needs and helping her out, like actively helping. Um, and Kyoya kind of thinks out loud or to himself, not out loud. Maybe this is the reason why I'm here. I don't know why this magic happened, and I went back in time to redo this. I don't know why that happened, but maybe it happened so that I could support these people. So that he kind of thinks like that might be what it is. Anyway, the fine arts club that he belongs to is doing a maid cafe, and he ends up doing work behind the scenes. And the pink-haired girl Keiko is also there to help. And I don't know what's going on with that character, but she is just like a senior at that college and looks like a child, and it's weird. It's just weird that she's there like that. It's like a weird character thing in the show. Um, anyway, uh, there's a weird moment in the episode where Aki, who's another girl that lives with them, and she will later go on to make art that he really loves. They're like hanging out and they're looking at stuff at the fair and or the festival and see some art. And I wrote down the character's name because we've never seen this name before. Yamashima Kazu. And when he's looking at that, uh, Kyoya faints. Now, is it because he's overworked, or is it something with that name that causes a reaction? We don't know. It seemed to imply that it's just a weird reaction in the moment and not like a larger story beat, but we don't know. It's a weird moment. Uh, anyway, he comes to and he's got a lap piece. There's a lap pillow from Aki, and there's a moment where it looks like, ooh, these two characters are gonna kiss. Oh boy, we're getting a little romance in here. Okay, because there's also been a little flirtation there. Um, but his phone rings before the kiss can happen. Got interrupted. Uh, the closing musical act, who was a surprise and supposed to be famous, no showed. Back did got double booked or something. Isn't going to be there. Uh-oh. There's not going to be a musical guest, and so they're freaking out because like, what are we going to do? This is supposed to be the close of the show. We said there's going to be a surprise. There isn't a surprise. What do we do? Gilly's like, I got it. We've got a band there that's been playing before, a backing band. Uh, because we know as an audience that Nanako has been playing uh, covers. She's been singing covers. So he's like, you should do it. Just go out there and do it. And look at it. And she's like, I can't perform in front of hundreds of people. Like, I'm not ready. And so she bails. She just like fucking takes off. She's just like, I'm out of here. Um, and then eventually she gets convinced to go and do it because he shows her, hey, look at this latest video that you made. Uh, Look at all the comments because there's like a Japanese video site in 2006 because that's what this takes place in. It takes place in 2006, and there is a Japanese video site where people like leave comments and feedback. And she's gotten a lot of hits on a recent song. Like it's like, look, you've already performed for thousands of people. What's a couple hundred? So it encourages to go. And so a thing that I've talked about before about this show was that a few episodes ago, when we found out that Nanako was a singer, she sang a song at karaoke. And normally when you karaoke, it's like the theme song of the show, or it's some made up song, or it's just like implied that you're singing. But she sang the first theme to Rurouni Kenshin, which would have been a song she would have liked 10 years before that. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Somebody in college would have liked that when they were a kid. Okay. The song she sings for this audience in 2006 was a very popular song, and they did a real song in this one. Very popular song that she would have sang because it was popular in anime circles, and then also became an actual hit. And that is the song God Knows from Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I haven't said that name out loud in a long time. So that is a very popular song that was in a song where the character of Haruhi sings that song at a talent show thing. And it's got this incredibly great guitar riff in it. It's really recognizable. And it's just an unbelievably great, an unnecessarily incredible touch to have like this character cover this song because that's the kind of song she would be covering on the website. And she does it. And it's just like, they didn't need to fucking do that. They didn't need to license and for cover and record this like voice actors singing this song that's appropriate for the time and the era. It's like unbelievably fucking rad. I'm just very impressed. Um, anyway, after the songs, Nanako's going to look for uh, Kyoya to be like, "Hey, I did it. Thank you so much." He doesn't know. She doesn't know that he and Aki had been watching, but she was getting anxious about the crowd, so they left. And when they left, Nanako comes up to discover Aki is leaned in to finish what she started previously, which is to kiss Kyoya. Uh, and that is where we end this episode. And it's like, oh no. Because I'm like, I mean, Aki's a great character. We haven't really seen a lot of her. We've seen a lot of her and of Nanako and Kyoya. Yes, I'm Team Nanako and not Team Aki. But oh boy, the drama is here, folks. The drama is here. Going to be rough. But anyway, it's a beautiful show. It's really great. I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite shows of the season. Um, and yeah, and part of that is this like, well, yeah, what would she be covering in 2006? Well, she'd cover the very popular song from an anime insert song that was very popular that year. Yeah, she'd do that. Is it, like, it's just perfect. It's just like a perfect, is the right number? 20. These numbers are very tiny. You'll have to forgive me. 23. Is that 23? That's 23. Okay, great. Panel line this little piece before I put it in because it'll be easier. This is the core fighter. This is the thing that comes out from the back and sticks in, like, this is the thing that the pilot is riding in to then dock and connect into the Gundam. That is a big part of G Gundam. Besides the whole fighting system is the cockpit thing, the core fighter. Anyway, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom is one of the other shows I've been really like this season. It is an isekai, which I understand for some people is a no thank you. I get that, but it is an isekai that is focused on kind of the day to day. It's a little slice of lifey more than it's an action show. We've got our boy Soma. He was isekai'd, brought over to another world. That world is a fantasy world, and through circumstances, he is now the king of a kingdom that is struggling. Um, so he is looking for ways to help out with that problem. And one of the big ways to help out is there's a food shortage because they had crops go bad, and they had an influx of refugees because there's demon activity, which is why he got summoned in the first place, was to be a bargaining chip in the war against the demons. But instead, he is doing his best and helping out in this country. And last episode, one of the big things they did was they had. Have I mentioned Poncho? One of the people, the special people that he brought in, who is a glutton and is an expert on food, because they're like, hey, we're going to work on this right now. We're going to switch crops and we're going to do all this. But in the meantime, here's some food you might not know is like really like a delicacy, that's only in part of the region. Maybe you don't know about these roots, or you don't know about this uh, insect that you can eat, and you don't know about these things. And he's like, here's some facts. And then he's like, also, you can eat Gellin. Gellin are slimes. They just call them Gellin. Why they don't just call them slimes, I don't know. But there is a way to prepare slimes that basically make them like noodles. And that is and people are like, no thanks. But it looks like udon. So Kazuya is like, hell yeah, I'll eat this. And it works out. So that was the big cliffhanger from last episode, was like, we got one more dish, and everyone's like, what? Anyway, uh, people are excited. They want more of the food program. And then we find out Marx, who was the former King's prime minister and stayed on. We thought he was staying on for a while. He's transitioning. He would like to be an advisor, but not become not be the prime minister anymore. And recommends the dude. We don't know a lot about Hakiya, who is going to be like a strategist. And Hakiya is like, I accept. My first recommendation to the king is, hey, king, you got to take some time off. You got to take some time off. Why don't you go around the castle town, go with the princess, consider it a date. That'll be good for everybody. And you'll need an escort, so take the warrior, the elf warrior, Aisha, have her go with you. That'll be great. And they're like, sure, that sounds okay. But they all dress up as if they're in the military academy, so that way their uniforms are disguises. They can't. The king and the princess, former princess, can't walk around. That's not going to work. So they're just gonna, hang out. There's a little montage. It's fun. Um, let's see. Oh, so they go to the restaurant where girl June is, and there's some conversation about how he treats her differently than the rest of them. Um, and then there's like definitely implications that Aisha wants is surprised that they haven't gotten together. And he's like, well, I couldn't do that, you know? Besides the fact that you work for me, like I'm engaged already. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, doesn't matter. Like, dude, what are you even saying? That's totally cool. Polygamy, of course, in this kingdom is totally cool. Doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. Uh, they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, if you want to, you get married, it's cool. And so, like, then he's just like, oh, okay, And then there's a commotion. So we get a clip. We end the episode on a cliffhanger where it's like, oh, so some new characters we haven't seen before are yelling. Maybe we'll find out more about that. But yeah, anyway, I think that this show is good. It's solid. I am a fan. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm into it. I would like to know more about some of the characters, like get to kind of see them a little bit more. Um, I don't necessarily love the polygamy element and everyone, of course, being cool with it. And mostly it's just because, like, you know, mortality rate is high in this kingdom or in this world, so they want to make sure that you had offspring and all that. But it's also just like, come on, come on, we don't need this. Uh, we don't need any of that. Yeah, I'm mostly just like, here. Okay, now I am building the legs. We're already on the legs, folks. This is a weird order. We did the arms, we did the shoulders, we did the core fighter, which is here. You can see this is like kind of how it would be moving around. It's washed out, and then there's a piece that flips up. I just did my nails there, and then that is where the pilot would be, and then that slots into the back, and it becomes the backpack, which is a fun little thing. But anyway, we'll put that aside. And we'll try to get this leg done. But that is the anime I've been watching. And now's the part of the stream where I ask you, hey, what have y'all been watching? What have you been watching? What have you been, checking out? You watching any TV? You watching the Olympics right now? Is anybody watching some anime? Anime. If you've been watching anything on YouTube that you want to recommend, I have been I am almost done going through everything that is legally available on YouTube of Taskmaster, and I've also started to watch some specials about like behind the scenes stuff about Taskmaster because I have seen a lot of it before. Uh, myself, uh, myself lose in Pokemon Unite. You've been watching yourself lose in Pokemon Unite. There you go. Yeah. Um, I have not tried Pokemon Unite because I am not a MOBA guy, but I could see myself becoming a Pokemon MOBA guy, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I am now basically watched everything I can of all the stuff that is available for Taskmaster, and it's fucking just great. It's just so good. The Champions one is so fucking solid. Like 2 episodes. I wish there were more episodes of the Champion one, but I understand. It's my first MOBA. I dig it so far. Oh, nice. You're playing that too. Great. I'm glad you're digging it. But yeah, I just know that I don't want to get caught up in a MOBA. We'll try to avoid getting caught up in the MOBAs. All right, now we're gonna put this into legs. Oh, I gotta build the feet here as well. We'll do the legs and we'll do the feet. 40, 39. 40, 39, great, we'll do that. Let's see, what else have I been doing? So I am now been reading. I think I might have started on Thursday, but I'm doing that. I got to play with Effie on his Twitch stream yesterday. It was so cool. Oh, that's awesome, Dr. Bucket. That rules. I totally can. Yeah, makes total sense to me that Effie would be playing that on stream, and that's awesome you get to play. That's very cool. The wrestler Effie. I assume Dr. Bucket is referencing the wrestler, and there isn't a different Effie out there. Yes, the wrestler. Great, good confirmation. But yeah, that is what I assumed uh, when you said that. That rules. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I've been reading. I think I may have said that I started reading this. My next manga thing. I've read a lot of Wise Man's Grandchild, which wasn't a fine enough isekai. It was like a totally pedestrian, by the numbers isekai. I have now read way past if they ever did a second season, which I don't think they would do. Um, uh, like I've read a lot of it, and it's fine. There's some stuff in it that's like pretty solid, and there's some twists and turns that's kind of interesting. There's some character development that took a long time to come that I'm now like, oh, okay, that's cool. They do some minor characters that I didn't hate, which is nice. Other than that, I'm just trying to catch up on GB and Nextlander so far. I hear you, Lashbrook. One of the easiest ways to catch up is to not watch everything. That's an easy way because it's like, oh, I like these folks, but I don't particularly care for this game, so I don't have to see them play it. It makes things way easier. That's my secret. Anyway, yeah. So I've been reading a lot of that. Um, I've been wanting to get into, but I gotta get a good. I gotta buy the books, and I'm waiting on a check before I do that. But I want to read uh, the Saints' Magic Powers Omnipotent because I really liked that anime last season. So I do want to eventually check that out. So I'm hopefully going to do that soon. Um, I am envious of Bacalar's Mandalorian table he's getting on loan. Yes, that does sound cool. Um, we'll get some footage, we'll get some coverage of that, and that's neat. That's cool that he gets loaned those things. That is neat. That's very cool, especially now that he's more behind the scenes. Certainly on a podcast, but he's not like writing articles for CNET anymore and videos for CNET. So I'm glad that he's still getting cool shit like that to look at. All right, so that's that. Panel line that. We're just hitting anywhere that makes sense here with our marker, and then we'll of course erase it. We're doing the quick and dirty method. If you're not aware, Effie hosts a show on his Twitch channel watching indie wrestling called Monday Not Raw during the other Monday show. Lots of good indie wrestling. Yes, I am aware of that. Effie is great. Very, very talented performer. And yes, and hosts, Monday Not Raw, which is very cool as an alternative. If you want to see some cool indie wrestling that's out there, many people are very excited about that. But yeah, Effie's a good Twitch follower or follow, I should say. Recommend it. Many good, fun wrestlers are out there on the Twitch doing cool shit. So if you take a look and find them, check out what they're up to. Doing things. And all right, now we're just gonna race that leg. Going there. Yeah, is there anything else that I was like, oh, I gotta tell everybody? That's the thing. I've been doing prep of like, oh, these are the things I want to talk about. I'm gonna write some topics down as I think of them. Didn't really have anything for today. Like, obviously didn't know how much we were gonna talk about wrestling until the news about Bray Wyatt came out. And I was like, oh, we're gonna talk about that tonight. Because that's some weird ass news. But yeah, other than that, I haven't been doing like a whole lot of prep work tonight. Because like I said, I'm going to try to go to bed early tonight because I think I'm hopefully going to be tired and like, maybe I'll go to bed like early tonight. Maybe I'll be tired enough to go to bed early. That would be fucking rad. Of course, tomorrow is a new month. Obviously, it is August tomorrow. So, make sure that you remember to pay those bills that are due on the first and get all that shit taken care of. I have a new schedule out. Patrons will get an email from me with a new schedule. It's the same schedule as always. It's just telling you what I'm going to do. Um, I can tell you this coming Wednesday, I am going to be checking out the Storyteller demo. There's a demo on Steam for Storyteller, which was a game that was shown. I hadn't heard about this before, but it was shown in the Annapurna interactive showcase, and I was like, "Oh, this looks fucking rad." It is this thing where you get a prompt, and then you have like pieces that you kind of piece together a like 4-panel comic or 3-panel comic that tells a story, like, oh, a tale of love. And then you have two characters, you put them together, and the next panel you have one character, next panel you have the other, third panel you have two of them together in a wedding. Great story of love. Um, and it branches out from there and gets more complicated, and there are different prompts and all that, and I think it gets faster. But that seems cool. So there's a demo of that. So we're gonna play that demo this coming Wednesday because I thought that would be a fun stream to do. And then I don't think that's going to take all the time. I can't imagine it will. Maybe it will. But if there's time, then we will go back and check out Dorf Romantic again because I think Dorf Romantic rules, and I haven't played a little bit, and we all deserve a fun game that is like a single player Ticket to Ride, like meets Catan. And I think it is just a cool game that I have just been kind of missing. I've been thinking about it and being like, oh yeah, that game rules. I want to play that more. So weirdly enough, I can play that more on stream, so I will. So that's going to be Wednesday, and I think that's going to be a fun stream for people that want to have a fun stream. Uh, so yeah, just going with it. Of course, Monday. What was the name of the game again? Oh, so the first game we're going to check out is Storyteller, which is this like building a story by using prompts that they're given that look kind of almost like a picture book or a comic. And the other game we're going to check out is Dorf Romantic with a K, or it could be Dorf Romantique. That's a game in early access that I picked up on Steam, and it is a tile placement game where you are trying to connect the different tiles, kind of like Catan, where you're trying to connect things, or like Ticket to Ride, where you have quests, but instead of it being a multiplayer game where you're trying to build train tracks, one of the things you are building is train tracks. You'll have a thing where it's like connect 50 houses and like the towns, and so you're like, oh, if I place this town's piece here, it'll connect with the other town's pieces and we'll hit that 50. Or it's like 7 train tracks. Okay, well, this train track I need to put there, but I can't put this one because it's the end, and I can't end the track before it's done. Uh, it's a very fun game, and it's like very relaxing. Um, so we're gonna be checking that out on a Wednesday because I have not checked it out. I think my first time here you were playing. Oh yeah, I played it before. It's been a hot minute since I played it on stream. Um, they haven't really put out many updates. Most of the updates have been quality of life. They haven't really like fundamentally changed anything about the game, which, you know, good that they haven't needed to fundamentally change anything. But from the perspective of, you know, looking at it, we haven't really needed to go back. I just been missing it and kind of wanted to check it out. So we'll do that on Wednesday. But of course, Monday, the next stream we have, which is coming up on Monday, you know that's going to be more model kit building because this kit isn't done. If we, you know, we probably could have done this in one session, but we didn't finish it up. But we'll definitely be finishing it on Monday, and I'll have a poll out for my patrons about what I should build next on Monday after this. But yeah, we've gotten most of the components done. We got to build the feet here because we've built all the legs. All we have left is the waist and the head, or the waist and the chest, because it's all one piece, and the head, because the head is last for some reason. And also applying stickers, but they like don't tell you about, they don't say where the stickers go. Like all these stickers are here. I just haven't had them tell me to apply stickers yet. Or if they have, it's hard to read. So we'll look at that. Oh no, there they are. Then like, oh, put these there. So we do have some stickers to put on this kit, which we'll have to do on Monday because we got a little time left here, but we're getting close to finishing up. We are going to raid at the end of the stream, so don't be like, oh no, Pat, you're just going to say goodbye. No, we're going to raid. We're going to find someone cool on a Saturday night to go hang out with and spend a little time with them. So don't worry about that. I'll find someone awesome for us to go hang out with once we're done here. But I'm going to at least finish this leg, panel line it, and get us ready for that. Moving on. All right. It's weird when you don't do the body, like the chest or the waist. You like when we're done here. Normally, I would have like the arms connected and all that, but there's nothing to connect it to because it's not done. So I'm just like, oh yeah, this goes here. This just hangs out. Here are all the many components that I have built, and that's it. All right, let me hit this with the eraser. And we're gonna rate at the end of this. So just do this line right here. We did do a cool little Lego set, so I like that. And then we'll continue this, and there will be another kit that we will build on on Monday as well. My next stream will be Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, till about 11 p.m. Eastern will be the next stream. But we're gonna call things the stream here because I gotta build the feet. I don't have much built. I'll finish this up on Monday. It just looks like I built a bunch of weird little components, but I got some stuff done on here. So yeah, let's go to here, and then we will check out who is streaming. I'm gonna find somebody awesome for us to go raid because it's cool to do that. Let's see. Who do we got here? We have not rated. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't rated Joe Kim in a while. So let's. Joe Kim is playing. Let's see. Oh, Joe Kim plays Escape from Tarkov. Joe Kim is a great person. Big fan. And I don't know a lot about Tarkov. I feel like I learn stuff every time I watch his streams, so that's fun. So I enjoy that. So we're gonna go give Joe Kim a raid and see what he is up to. So let's do that. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. I hope you come check me out on Monday when I complete this kit and then start a new kit. And thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you on the next one. Until next time, have a nice evening is what Doctor says, and I agree. Have a great night, everybody. We're going to go on this raid. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.